Some advanced custom number formats you can apply to a range of cells, for example, is like if any cell contains a positive number, you can have a plus sign in front of it and also change the color like to blue. And for negatives, we can have a minus sign and make it magenta or whatever color you want. And if it has a 0 in it, you can actually replace that 0 when somebody types in a 0 with any text like null, Zippo, or bagel. Bagel's a 0. In any case, any text you want. And also, within a number range, if somebody types in text, you can apply a color to it like cyan. I know, cyan's a color. I looked it up. So the example that I want here is going to be this range. Let's go ahead and select it. And then right-click on the selection, go to Format Cells. Then on the Number tab, go down to Custom. And you can see that looking at some of the coding here, when you see red, well, that's what it means. When there's a negative number, it's going to be in red. Well, how can you break that down the code so we can actually manipulate it to make it ours? I'm glad you asked. Let's go ahead and scroll down and find something a bit more complex, and we can tweak that, or better yet, instead of having you squinting and trying to see these tiny numbers or getting out a magnifying glass, because that would be very annoying and not very neighborly of me, let's go ahead and go to my Word document and go over a code that I want to be able to add to the range of cells, and let me explain it here. First off, when you see code like this, it's going to be divided into sections. And the sections are divided by the delimiter, the semicolon. So everything to the left of this first semicolon is section 1, to the right to the next semicolon is section 2, and then from that one to the next one, section 3, and then section 4. So we have a total of 4 sections, and they're broken down by the first section is positive numbers, second, negative numbers, third is going to be zeros when they type in a 0, and then fourth, any text. Let's break it down even more. So in the first section, for positive numbers, we're going to have the plus sign in front of the number, also the dollar sign, so we're converting it to currency as it were. And then for the second section, for negative numbers, they're going to be in red, so it leads with the color. And then after that, it's going to have a minus sign and a dollar sign in front of the number. And then in the third section, well, anybody who types in 0, it's going to be in magenta, and it's going to replace that 0 with the text bagel. Sweet. And then after that, finally, if anybody types any text, it's going to be in the color cyan. Okay, let's break it down a little bit more than that. Going back to the first section, when you see a 0, it's to make the numbers visible, and so you want to be able to see the numbers when you type them in. And then when you have the decimal .00, not only does it display whole numbers, but also 2 numbers after the decimal. And then you have the pound symbol in front of it. When it's used with zeros, the desired result is to display the larger numbers like in thousands with commas. So when it gets up to the thousands, you can see I add the comma there after the first 3 numbers here, 0, then pound, pound, comma, and then we get to the thousands. Now keep in mind, you can't use all pound symbols. You have to have at least 1 0 to make it visible. So after the 1 0, you don't have to have the .00 if you don't want decimals, but I do, so I added the .0. And again, the pound symbols are for larger numbers. And then we have the @ symbol here, and that's for the text section. And the @ equals the text the user types in. It keeps the user's text and makes it visible. If you go ahead and you place text within the quotes before the @ symbol, so if I come in here and I do open quotes and I say something, close quotes, then whatever they type in is going to be preceded with the prefix of the word something, or whatever you type in within the quotes. And then of course you got your colors, and those are going to be in square brackets here before or preceding the section. So beginning the section with text, we've got cyan. With the negative numbers, it starts off with red, and then of course for the zeros, magenta. And then the underscores that you see beginning over here with the positive number, when it's outside the first parentheses but inside the second, it prevents the parentheses from showing. So outside the first, inside the second, we're not going to see the parentheses for the positive numbers. Let's see, outside the first, but not inside the second, so it is going to show the parentheses for the negative numbers. Outside the first, inside the second, not going to show it for the zeros. Outside the first, inside the second here, not going to show it for text. And then the asterisk here that you see closes the gap or spacing between a symbol and a number, so you don't have the spacing, the dollar sign, and then a lot of space with the number like accounting. It's like currency, it'll close the gap. And then the question marks that you see here are the spaces. So to give it some space here when you type in 0 after the word bagel. You want to see it? All right, come with me, neighbor. Let's go ahead and click and drag to select it, and then let's right click on the selection to copy it, and then go back to Excel, and then go ahead and click and drag. You could go ahead and type it in, or go ahead and take what's there and then just customize it or tweak it. But since we've copied it, let's go ahead and paste it. And you can see that it gets to the end here. Let me go ahead and use the left arrow key to go all the way over to the left. Ooh, that's a lot of code. Let's go ahead and click OK. And oh, it doesn't like what I typed in. As you recall, back in my document here, I've got the quotes. Well, what's different between these quotes and those? This has formatting. They got the little curly quotes and it doesn't like it. So what I need to do is I need to go back here and say, okay, all right. Hold on just a second, let me clean it up. And let's go ahead and hit the End key on the keyboard so I can type over the quotes before and after something, and it gets rid of the formatting. So I have my quotes now without the formatting applied, and click Okie dokie, and hey, there we go. We got a plus sign in front of each positive number. Nice. What happens if it's negative, like negative 13, hit enter, changes it to red, gives us a negative in front of it with the dollar sign. And if I type in 0, hit enter, bagel, totally, man, not good. And then if I go ahead and type in some text, any text, hit enter, can't see it, it's being cut off. So let me come up here and hover in between the two column labels after the column that I want to be able to stretch open until I can see arrows pointing in opposite directions, and click and drag. And there you go. Oh, that cyan is not working for me. Let me go ahead and select the range and right click on it before I explain it in detail, and go to Format Cells and then change it from cyan to blue. Let's do blue. And then click Okie dokie. Okay, blue's better, but you know what? It adds something, the prefix, before the text that I typed in, which was any, but it doesn't give me any space. So we could go ahead and select the range so it applies to the entire range, and right click, Format. So you're getting a feel for this. You can go ahead and, once you know what the code means, as I explained it, you can go ahead and create your own monster code, or just go ahead and copy the code that I got and tweak it, or go ahead and select one of the codes here if you don't want to go full-blown and have all these colors and stuff. But in any case, let me go ahead and click after something, but before the last quote here, hit the space bar and click Okie dokie, and there we go. Now notice that when I select the cell, when I look up in the formula bar, it's not going to look at or analyze the prefix, something. It's not there. It's just being added to it, but the data that it does see, or that it's registering with Excel, is what we typed in, any. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.